and I'm very excited because of my grandson. He is the owner of everything. And he said, if you can fix it, I'll let it have it for 300. If something happens from here to that stop sign, that's gonna be on me. But I already paid you the money. So whatever happens to the bike, that's gonna be mine. So it went blank and I woke up in the hospital. So the first thing that I saw was lights, and I honestly thought that I had died.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. We're starting up a little conversation, and we hope that you engage with us and tell us what you think about what we're trying to do here. We're trying to tell stories. As a storyteller for many, many years on KVIA and KTSM, I like to tell stories and get to know people so you too can get to know them and find them interesting. Somebody that I find very interesting is Carlos. So, Carlos is our graphic designer here at Viva Auto Group, but he's much more than that. And something that he likes to tell us about is his latest thing that he's going to add to his different titles, and that would be Grandpa. So tell me, you're very excited about this.
Yes, because I never had a boy. So I have two daughters. One is almost 20, and the other one is 10 years old. So I never had a son, but I also just wanted girls. So,
Okay. You wanted a boy, but you've always wanted girls. Explain that dynamic to me.
well, the thing is that I wanted girls, but if the son came, then I would be okay. But
Okay.
my intention was to have girls.
Well, you know that little girls have their you wrapped around their little finger, right? And you're okay with that?
Yes, because even my daughter, which is the biggest one, daddy this, daddy that, and it's almost every time it's money. So-
Right. But Carlos, really, I have two boys and I have a daughter, and I think girls are really more complicated and higher maintenance and just a lot of things. I think boys and probably men in general are probably more simple.
yes, and I found out that when my daughter was born, because it was hairdos, it was nails, it was makeup, it's dresses, it's shoes, it's yademas, it's oh no, and a boy, it's just pants and shirts, and that's it. So
And go with that. But no, but us girls are more complicated than just nails and hair and boots and these kinds of hose. But we are emotional. We are just a lot of different things.
when my daughter was growing up, yes, she gave me all these white hairs you see. It's probably because of her.
Yeah.
Anything from school, even the little one, it's always
Something.
they're more dramatic than guys, I think.
So show me, and we're going to get to show you all too about the this new world. Look, when I was pregnant, when you do a sonogram and you'd probably barely see it, and this is just truly amazing. And what is this called?
So it is a 5D sonogram, and then they convert it into an 8K sonogram.
Wow.
So yes, I'm very excited because my grandson looks like me and not like his father.
Well, he's going to look like his father, of course. But how does that make you feel? So you're going to be a grandpa for the first time, and this kind of technology is available to you and your daughter and the father of the baby, and it's just incredible.
When my daughter told me that she was gonna get a 8K sonogram, I was like,
It's a Nate cake.
"What the hell is that?" You know? And I'm a gamer, so I know what about 4K, 8K, and all that. I know it's a big resolution, but I never thought that a sonogram could get this sophisticated. When my baby's mama was pregnant, all we got was black and white, and we didn't even know what we were looking at.
Right.
All I saw was a little, I guess, a
Private.
frijolito. Yes, you
Yeah, the
know.
private parts too.
You couldn't even distinguish that either. So, yeah, this thing is amazing. And I did a little bit of research on 8K sonograms, and they're pretty much accurate. So when the baby's born, they usually take a picture of it, and then of it, they take a picture
Yeah.
of him, and then you can compare it with the picture that they gave you, and it's pretty much
It's pretty similar.
yes.
It's amazing. And you said he has your nose and your mouth?
He has everything about me.
We'll see
Well,
about
her
that,
mama
right?
too. So
Her mama too. His mama too.
yeah.
So Carlos, you just said that you're also a gamer. We'll get into what he does here at Viva Auto Group, but you're also a gamer.
Yes. I actually play a lot of games. I used to play a lot. I kind
Not
of
with people, like, yeah.
yes. I do a lot of online gaming because I have friends all over the world. I have friends in California. I have friends in, I guess even Tokyo, because we play multiplayer, so we play with different many people.
Why do you do that? Why don't you just play a single game with just yourself on that screen? Why do you have to play with others?
Well, there's single player games and then there's multiplayer games. So multiplayer games is more like shooting games and something that you games that you interact with other people. But single player games, I do play single player games, and that's when I play by myself in the computer. That sounded bad.
Well, we know what you meant, Carlos. We know what you meant. It may
Oh
have sounded,
man.
but single player instead of yes. Okay.
So single player games is when you play by yourself and then you're on your own on the computer. You either have headsets or you can have a surround sound and stuff like that. But the reason I play video games is because since I'm a graphic designer, the video games inspire me to create many different things. So I'm not fluent only in one media, but I'm fluent in many different medias. So I'm able to create black and white stuff. I'm able to create modern stuff. I'm able to create fancy stuff and stuff like
Vintage and
yes.
yeah, all of that.
So gaming has been helpful to me because it gives me the knowledge to create more stuff.
So it's not just to play; it's also to learn.
Yes.
Okay, so Grandpa, you play video games. He rides a motorcycle to work every day in this cold, and you're very much involved in the motorcycle community. Tell me about that.
So motorcycles came to my life about 10 years ago, and I had a list of cars that I wanted to own in my lifetime, right? So I was going down that list, and my number one car was a Corvette. So I was able to obtain my Corvette when I was 24 years old.
Wow, how did you accomplish that?
I I see this show. Well, I see this Netflix show or wherever it's showing that this guy started with the red paperclip, and he started trading stuff. And from the red paperclip, he went all the way to a boat, I think, or something like that.
Mm.
So I kind of went. I bought a Mitsubishi Eclipse from a friend that wasn't working. So when I went to his house, I got it to work, and he sold it to me for $300.
Okay.
He wanted 1,300, but I offered him 300 because the card wasn't working, and he said, "If you can fix it, I'll let it have it for 300."
So
Guess
you're
what
a
it
good
was?
negotiator.
Guess what it was?
What was it? It didn't have any gas.
A fuse. So when I replaced the fuse and then I bought the car, he actually got pissed because
Of
I got him for
course.
$300. So that
But
car
the
I
deal's a deal,
flipped
right?
it to 3,000, and then from there I kept on trading and trading and trading until I got to my Corvette, and then I sold the Corvette. So then I was sitting in my car, and then I was like, you know what? What do I want to buy now? So I was driving down North Loop. I remember the exact day and everything. I was driving down North Loop and I was searching on Marketplace. And I was like, you know what? I've never had a motorcycle before.
And with that, we're going to pause just a little bit. This is brought to you by Viva Auto Group, and we're going to take a little break. New year, new opportunities to focus on the future, grow personally and professionally. Viva Auto Group, with 10 dealerships in El Paso and Las Cruces, is here to help you get on the road and stay on the road to a better tomorrow. Viva has been helping families grow for almost 40 years. We're involved in the community, helping raise money to donate hundreds of free mammograms. We teamed up with the return of the Amigo Air Show to make our community, El Paso, strong. Together, we make a difference because Viva makes it happen. And welcome back. We're talking here to Carlos Atilano. We already learned he's going to be a grandpa. He likes to play video games. He also is a graphic designer and he rides motorcycle. And he, right before our break, we were talking about how you were able to buy the next thing. So tell me about that.
So when I reached the top of my list, when I got my Corvette, I was like, I sold the Corvette and I had some extra cash because Corvettes are not cheap, right? So then I
How
was
much
like,
extra cash?
I think I sold that Corvette for like $18,000.
Okay.
And if you think about it, it only costed me $300 because
That's something else.
I kept trading and selling and stuff like that. So it all started with that Mitsubishi Eclipse. So I was driving down North Loop and I was like, you know what? I've never owned a motorcycle before. Do I know how to drive motorcycles? No. So I was driving down North Loop and I was searching the marketplace and I saw this little Honda Shadow 750. It's a small bike, a beginner's bike. I didn't want to get something big because I didn't know how to drive. Right. So I contacted the guy and then he said like, well, I live so address. And it turned out that it was 3 streets away from where I was. So literally I went from driving on North Loop to 3 streets away, turning a right, and the motorcycle was there. As soon as I saw the bike, I fell in love with it. So then I asked the guy, like, can you ride it so I can see you? And then he was like, no, test drive it.
You
And I was like, there's only one problem with that. I've never driven a motorcycle before. So he started being concerned, right? Like,
Right.
oh,
why do sell this to you, right?
why do you want to buy a motorcycle if you don't know how to drive and stuff like that? And I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I'm here. Like, yeah, I just know that I've never owned a motorcycle and it's something interesting that I would like to experience. So an hour later, he started driving down the street and I kept on looking at him. I was making sure that the bike was properly, so then I gave him the money and then he was like, I'm sorry, but I cannot take your money. And then I asked him like, why? Because how are you gonna take your bike? So he offered to take the bike home and stuff like that, but I told him no. I told him I'm gonna give you the money. If something happens from here to that stop sign, that's gonna be on me. But I already paid you the money. So whatever happens to the bike, that's gonna be my fault. And he wasn't sure, and he was like, well, do you know at least how to drive manually? Yeah, I know how to drive manually. How to shift? So I told him, where's where? And they said, that's the clutch, that's the brake, that's the gears, those are the other brakes. Like, okay. And I took off. And I never looked back. 10 years later, I'm still driving motorcycles.
So
nothing happened, unfortunately.
Thank goodness. Thank God. Thank God. So I see that there's just something that maybe tells you inside, are you faith-filled or do you ask for signs from God? Are you religious? How do you know these things that it's going to be okay? It seems, that you'd never driven a motorcycle. You went from buying that car for $300. You sound like something inside you, your intuition, something drives you. What is that?
So every time I get on my bike, I ask God to protect me. As soon as I leave and as soon as I get there, I always thank you for letting me get to my destination and stuff like that. Um, I've always been careful with everything that I do, and I'm an overthinker. So I'm always think a lot before I commit to something. The buying the motorcycle part, that was spontaneous. Yes, and because I just didn't know what to buy then. And I had this money and I was like, what do I do with it? So, but every single time either I get on the bike or my car, even in cars, because vehicles are dangerous as well as motorcycles. But I always say to myself, please guide me through my journey and then make sure that I get there safe. And every time I do, I always thank God that He got me there. You know, I have had 3 accidents. Two of them were really bad. One of them was extremely bad. I landed in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and that was my first big bike. The one I sold that little Honda, and then I got a bigger bike, which I went from a 750 cc's to a 1900.
Oof.
That's a big difference. Yes. And because I already was 6 months into riding and stuff like that. But when I got my big bike, some Mercedes got in front of me. He was turning into a shopping center, and I couldn't react because I wasn't going fast or anything like that. But the thing is that he got so in front of me that I just, so it went blank, and I woke up in the hospital. So the first thing that I saw was lights, and I honestly thought that I had died because all I saw was lights on top of me. So then I was looking around, and the first thing that I saw was my daughter and my baby's mom was back then. And I remember asking, like, did I die? And they were like, no, you're in the hospital. You had an accident. So then I started, yes. So then I started looking around, and my arm was all like swollen and purple and all that stuff. So, but with that, I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing because it has made me into the driver that I am now. So I feel like nobody sees me out there. So I make sure that they see
That's
me
really
every time I
smart
come in.
thinking.
Yes. So I always think to myself that they cannot see me. So I gotta make sure that they see me somehow. So all my motorcycles either have a big radio and you can hear the music, or
Yes, we can.
they sound loud or stuff like that. Because have you heard the saying, "Loud pipe saves lives"?
No, but now we know it. Loud
Loud
pipes
pipes
save
save lives.
lives. Okay.
Because if they
That's why
don't
you have
see you
that.
physically, they'll at least hear the motorcycle coming from somewhere, either with the radio or with the exhaust.
So, did all of this learning, from your accidents, learning from wanting to ride a motorcycle, is this what involved you? What made you get involved into the motorcycle community? You do some charity work with the motorcycle community.
Yes, well, I'm the president of Imperio MC El Paso, and we are a motorcycle club that belongs to a motorcycle coalition. And here in El Paso, there's about 62 other clubs, give or take. There could be more. There's a lot more, but involved in the El Paso coalition, it's about 60 something to 70. I'm not sure how many clubs we have, but it's a nice feeling because bikers, we have they think that all bikers are bad, or they think that all bikers are doing terrible stuff, and that's not the case.
In your
Some,
case,
yes,
in your
some
organization's
some
case.
bikers are really out there just for charity stuff. We do events year round. The reason why we're 62 clubs is because each club picks a date throughout the year, and they do a charity event for cancer. It could be autism. It could be, I mean, any particular reason. It could be a family that's not doing well or they need help and stuff like that. And the reason why I got involved in the El Paso Coalition is because of that particular reason. It feels good to help. Well, at least to me, it feels good to help people, and I look forward to my weekends because I'm always riding my motorcycles, and that's with my club and everything.
Well, hold that thought. We'll be right back with a small and short break.
For the cowgirl who wants that upgrade. For the city slicker who likes the bells and whistles. For the mom who needs a third row. And the biker chick who likes to feel the wind in her hair. Viva Auto Group has what every woman wants, because Viva makes it happen.
So welcome back. Talking here with Carlos Atilano. He's my coworker here at Viva Auto Group. We are at headquarters, and this is where we do a lot of the commercials and the graphics and all of the things that you see on social media, on TV, and here on radio. And Carlos, we already learned that he's a grandfather, that you are is that called a gamer? A gamer. a graphic artist and philanthropist, because he is involved in philanthropy because they help raise money. His organization helps raise money for different charities in El Paso. And he's also a graphic designer. Now we want to know a little bit more, and we'll be showing some of your graphics in this podcast as well. What inspires you? I know that you are a spiritual man, because you ask for blessings from God when you get on your motorcycle or in your car. You are dedicated to your family. You are very much involved in the soon arrival of your grandson, and you're a responsible motorcyclist because you're involved with charities. So what is it that you do, so everybody can know what you do here at Viva Auto Group, and what inspires you? Because not all of us can come up with these beautiful backgrounds and these beautiful graphics. How does that happen?
Well, it all starts with the gaming part. The reason I play, and I played many different games. I play from samurai games to shooting games to gladiator games. I mean, there's every type of sports games, so stuff like that. So I always tend to look for the text or the backgrounds, but then I also question myself, like, why did they place that text there, and why not over here? And I usually find out stuff like the way the backgrounds work and the letters, how to make them, I guess, pop more. And there's a lot of stuff. When I'm creating something, like, my mind is going at a million. And it's going like, you can use this, you can use that, you can put this in front, you can put this on the back. You could be talking about an idea, just simply talking, and I'm already designing it in my head. Once I get to the computer, that's when I remember everything that I did, and I portray it in the computer itself.
So does a computer always help you bring to life those ideas that you have in your head? Or sometimes those are really big challenges. Or when you go in before you start creating, you know the capacities and the capabilities of your computer. Which is it, what comes first?
Well, first is a thought of what I'm gonna do, and usually I already have the design in my head. The computer just facilitates what I'm seeing in my head. I don't know how to draw, or else I would have probably done like drawings and stuff like that. But that's harder. That is a real. I'm a graphic designer, but the real artists are the ones that grab a pencil and start doing everything by hand. Those, I
You respect mis
mi
respetos.
respetos, yes.
So here you're going to see a lot of his work. What what is next for Carlos? You are a lot of things to a lot of people. Who is Carlos, and what is next for Carlos?
Uh, well, I can honestly say that I love my job. I love working with every single one in here. I love what I do. It gives me the creative freedom that I didn't have in previous jobs. So to me, it's like I learned from Oscar. Oscar's one of my coworkers also. I learned from Angela a lot. She's the girl behind the camera. She's shy, but she'll be in one of the podcasts
Yes,
later.
she will, because
So,
she has a story to tell too.
yes. So I learn from everybody. I learn from you, even though you're very intimidating, but I've
I'm not
learned from everywhere,
intimidating.
So,
Good.
but I I love my job, and I hope I can stay here for years. We're going on our third year, and when I say we, it's
Our team.
I'm going on my third year, and I don't plan to go anywhere. So I really like what I'm doing. I like doing different stuff for different dealerships, because it's not only one dealership, it's 19 or 16 different ones. So I really enjoy that. And I'm very excited because of my grandson. He is the owner of my 2 bikes, my 3 vehicles, everything. So like I said, I never had a son, so I don't know how I'm gonna be with my grandson, but I know for a fact that he's the owner of everything I have.
Well, what if you have another grandbaby?
Mm,
The first one takes it all.
yes, I believe. I don't know because I've never been in that spot, but for now, he's the king for everything. Even my
So
daughters take second.
now they're second.
Yes.
What is the first thing you're going to do with him
Oh,
before after you hold him and maybe change a few diapers? He didn't say no to changing diapers.
I think the first thing I'm gonna do is put him a Chevy onesie.
A
Chevrolet.
Chevrolet onesie. Okay, I hope you already ordered that because when is
Yes.
the due date?
I already have it. So they have her for March, but he might be here February.
Okay.
So we're already January, so it's getting closer and closer.
Are you a little nervous to see your daughter? So right now you're just thinking about your grandson and what he looks like inside the womb. Are you a little nervous about your daughter? I mean, childbirth is hard.
Yes, it is, but I don't know why. I was more nervous when I was in that situation than now, and only because Carla, that's the name of my daughter, Carla, she makes it seem like she's an expert in this, and I ask her like, aren't you nervous or? But she's going with it, and she's like nothing. So why would I be nervous? You know, I guess because of her, she's handling it well. So I'm guessing I'm handling it too. So I'm just more excited about having a grandson. So
Well, it shows. Well, we're going to go to another short break, and we'll be right back with my last question for Carlos Atilano. Stay with us.
¡Chócala! Porque todo trato debe de cerrarse con un apretón de manos. En Viva Auto Group hacemos un compromiso para que tu compra sea rápida y segura. Puedes comenzar en línea. Encuentra un vehículo nuevo o preusado. Descubre cuánto vale tu trading. Comienza tu solicitud de financiamiento. Y cuando estés listo, visítanos en la concesionaria y sellamos el trato con un apretón de manos. ¡Chócala! Con Viva Auto Group.
Well, welcome back, everybody. As promised, one last question for this interview. This is a podcast, and we're still trying to find our way through the podcast that we just started back up. We want your help, and they're asking for your help to help us name it, to help us find out what you want to hear. The stories we're going to tell you anyway, but maybe the different people you'd like to hear from and know a little bit more about. And so if you can reply or respond to some of this, that would be fantastic. So my last question, Carlos, is, and it's pretty deep, and you're still young enough to think about this, but how do you want to be remembered?
I guess when I pass to the other, okay. I want to be remembered as being a very helpful person. I do have 14 members, 12 members right now in my motorcycle club. And without them, I wouldn't be what I am right now. And the reason why I say them is because they give me a challenge every weekend, every time I experience something with them. It's like I learn how to be patient. I wish I learned how to be patient in other things, but it's kind of hard. But I would like to be remembered as a loving father because my daughters I've always been there for them, even though with their mothers or whatever it didn't work out. But my daughters I've always been there for them. I don't see myself as being the perfect dad because nobody is, but I try to be everywhere for them. And so, yeah, I mean, a loving father, a very respectful guy. I like to help people. It makes me feel good when I help people, when we help little kids, especially kids. That's why I got more intrigued in the biker life because we're always helping somebody. It's not just grabbing your motorcycle and ride out there. It's always, we're grabbing the bike. It turned from going out riding, having fun, to now getting on the bike and doing something for charity.
And making a difference and leaving your mark and making somebody smile, right? Well, thank you for your honesty. Right before we went on, I said, "Is anything off limits?" And he said, "Well, no, nothing's off limits." But I asked the hard questions, but I'm not going to ever, railroad anybody. So don't be afraid to come in and talk with us. But we just hope that you enjoyed this conversation with Carlos Atilano, who is our graphic artist here at Viva Auto Group. And we hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to talk to all kinds of different people. And stay tuned. Have a great day. And thanks for listening.
Hurry in. Just buy one, get one free.
One of the funniest men in America.
Interesting story in
Hey, we got our tax refund. Check it out. Come on, let's go to Viva. Let's go. Let's go.
Because Viva makes it happen.